I'm focusing more on relationship now. I feel like I had religion my whole life. My dad is a pastor, so I had religion my whole life. Go to church, pray before you eat, don't have sex, don't do drugs, don't kill people, don't lie. All these rules.
You understand the legalism of all of that.
Just religion. But relationships, like what you do with your girl, you spend time with her, you respect her boundaries, you talk to her, you wait for her to talk back. You have a like I'm really having a relationship with Jesus now, and it's different than religion.
Which
you know,
I like this more important. Religion is having a relationship with God,
having a relationship of religion. Yeah. And I said that to say, back to your question, I've never had a man lead spiritually. Out of all the men I've dated and had sex with, I've never had a man grab my hand and say, let's read the Bible. I've never seen a man on his knees and pray. I've never seen him grab me and try to pray. I've never seen him start off his day with a devotion. I've never seen him go to God first in all things. And that's what I'm doing in this season. So I need a man to do that. I've never seen that. So I would love to have that priority, you know.
Look, I know a lot of guys.
Yo, that is such BS.
It is. Hey, hey, Brown Sugar, we're gonna start with you this time. Brown Sugar, we're gonna start with you this time. We ain't gonna miss you at all. What you got?
I'd love to have that priority, you know.
It sounds like it's a video playing still.
Somebody playing in the background.
That might be you. That was me because my computer's freezing.
I mean, good for her. If that's her truth, that's her truth. Good for her. I know from my experience, those are, well, let's start with just having a one-on-one relationship with Jesus. Okay. I don't really like to use the terms religion and spiritual. I feel like that's more of a group of people. People should be more worried about their individual relationship with God. And once you have your own individual relationship with God, you can lead just by showing up. God and His presence will be all over you, and you can just walk in that light. And I do think it's important, if that is your path, and if you do want a relationship with God and that's your priority, then it is important to find a match. Because it's, and I've learned this in dating, because not all the men that I've dated have put God as a priority, but the men that have put them as a priority, I thank God for bringing them into my life, because one of my exes actually brought me closer to God. We're no longer together, but that kind of initiated my relationship with God. So I thank God for bringing those type of men into my world. But it is difficult trying to maintain a relationship with anybody if y'all on two different pages. So if you're in the Bible and you're praying and you're, worshiping, and he's just on a completely different path, he or she, then it's just gonna make the relationship a little bit. I think it's an expiration date for those type of relationships. But if that's what her path is, good for her.
Hey, Darwin, I saw you had a very strong reaction. Pause to when she said that she's no longer with the man. What did you mean by that?
Well, it's the irony that a man can bring you closer to God, and then the result is him losing.
No, it is very ironic because he ended up turning out to be a liar.
You know what? This is what
he lied about his age to not only to myself.
Oh,
he lied about his age.
Oh my God, that made it worse.
He made himself 5 years younger, and not only did.
What about forgiveness? What about the forgiveness part about he brought?
How old was he?
Hey, Trey.
He was really, I want to say at that time he was 30. And he lied and told me and my family that he was 25.
And you were how old?
I was 25 at that time.
He gave you Jesus and you dismissed him for
So
From his
that's the only
age.
reason you broke up with him?
I said I still thank God that he's that he was put
Wait,
into
but
my
sugar,
life.
sugar,
We're no longer
isn't
together, but we speak from time to time. But
Was that the only
it'll
deal
never
breaker?
be like
sugar,
that.
I pray that
why you
wasn't the
broke
only
up
deal
with him?
breaker.
No, it wasn't the only deal breaker.
No,
Okay,
don't give
thank
her that
God.
out. No, I always go by what they mentioned first. I'm not going off anything else. Whatever you said
They
first was
trying to
the deal
say,
breaker.
Hey, whatever
they
I
trying to
said
say it was
first, we can
you.
take it. It's still the
They,
truth.
they
Whether
trying to
it's
say it
first,
was
second, or
you.
last.
Was it him or was
That's
it you?
real.
They trying to say it's you.
Oh no, it wasn't me. If it was me, I'd say it. It
That's
wasn't
what they
me for
think.
sure.
We
I
don't
mean,
believe you.
They don't believe
So
you.
you broke up with a
of
God
course,
fearing
you
man.
all don't
Y'all
believe
don't
me.
y'all don't believe her?
That was a lie.
Believe
So
me.
Hell no, we don't believe you.
Who did that? Was a lie.
I don't know what
So
to do.
sugar,
But
you
it's
broke
possible.
up
I
with
was
a
Yo.
gonna
God
say
fearing man.
No, Ruth, don't take.
no,
You
but wait.
can't get behind that.
Let me tell you.
Ruth, what you got? Your mic a little low.
Somebody can bring you closer to God and still be a whole liar because they're being a hypocrite. But the part of what they're doing, they give you the method, the process, but you got to leave their character alone because that don't match. I would say, if I'm going to answer this question, I do run. It is hard as a Black woman to find a man who is completely crazy about God. So what I don't want the women to do is that has to be top of my list. And if you not this, that's what a lot of church girls mess up. Where if you're not the preacher, then you can't marry him. No, you can save your husband through your stuff. You have to be a good example for him. So you basically you're helping him get closer to God. But and the Bible does talk about that. But I would never want to date somebody that doesn't believe in the same thing. So at least he got to believe in the same, savior. You know what I mean? And so I would not say that every Black man doesn't put God first because a lot of some of them do. And my baby pray for me every day. So I don't know what y'all talk about. Some good Black men out there, And but as a woman, you just have to. You can't be like the preacher. You can't come home and say this is what the preacher said, and this is what you got to do this, and you don't beat them over the head with the Bible. You just live your life right and be a good example and be cooperative and be friendly, and you will always force a man to step his game up because he always wants to keep up with you and he wants to do more for you than you do for him. So that's what I'm saying.
Hey Ruth,
I just want to drop something real quick before you go, Sweeney. I'm gonna let you go, but I do want to just say one quick thing. If I'm just gonna say for women, if your top priority is that a man has a relationship with God, if you're truly intentional about it, I would suggest that the best place for you to look would be in the church. I grew up in a church, and I have not been to a church, whether it be AME Baptist or whatever I practice, right? I've never been to a church that didn't have a singles ministry. They actually help you with the vetting process. So if that's at the top of your list, that's an excellent place to start. Probably the best place to start if that's on the top of your priority list. Go ahead, Sweeney.
Real quick, Ruth, how long you been 30?
Huh?
I said, how long have you been 30?
I say my age. I'm not one of them people that have been 30 for 40, 45 years. I'm fine. I like my age. I still look good, and I ain't old. So y'all can think whatever y'all want to think. I'm very fertile.
All right.
I had
mistaken.
I ain't gonna go there. But can I say one more thing though?
Go ahead. You got it, Ruth. Go ahead. Finish up.
Don't pick one of these people talking about that's a white man's religion. I asked all of them out. There's a whole lot of Black men saying that's a white man's religion. Mind you, Jesus is Black, but we ain't gonna go there tonight. But
you gotta look for a Hebrew Israelite.
No, no pastor too. But yeah,
y'all notice how it doesn't matter what we say, they gonna find a way to disqualify the entire group.
Listen, a guy can just believe in Jesus and then go from there.
That ain't how that works.
But what the women want is the pastor, and you can't I used to have things. I want the pastor. No, everybody, pastor's the worst guy in the church. Just spiritual, high value men. that's a different conversation and different topic. I mean, these people. I got a DM one time talking
Have you
about
dated a pastor before, Ruth?
Somebody was in training with a pastor, yes. But I had my own reasons why I wanted to be a pastor's wife, because I didn't want to be a pastor. So I was trying to cheat the system, but it didn't work out too good for me. But what I would say is that people will be like, be at this church right now. This really happened to me. Tonight you need to be at such and such church because there's a prophet in the house. And I was like, bro, I done been around this block before. I know. I said, whatever God had to tell you, he could tell me. No, thank you. And it was because I posted a little fresh little picture. And 1 minute later, here they go in my DM.
The power of Christ compels you.
Weren't you in the church? Hold on, weren't you in the church though?
Huh?
You was in the church
for me. It's fresh for me, but my people that follow me, they know like that's a little side booty Ruth. You can't do that, you know. But that was it.
So
you sinning and shit.
You enticing the children.
Christ compels you.
We doing, Ruth.
Wait, they all in the church, right?
Huh? What'd you say?
They all in the church, right? She goes and
I didn't know them. They was on Facebook and they DMing me right away. I'm like, bro, you're not the only one. Ain't no prophet.
But you posted but you was posting the ass shots online and they liked it.
I never showed my butt online.
I know, I'm just messing. I'm just saying the side ass. That counts too.
She gave him the side shot.
You posted the side ass with a little bit.
Like that, and that was too much. So I don't
and you got all them up in your inbox. All y'all are part of the church,
of course.
And you posting the side ass, and they liked it. Y'all, what's the problem? You get to post your.
God told you that I want that side. You know what
I mean? And you was in there listening to the God told you about the side ass. You still went out and posted the side ass.
It be the young ones, man. I mean,
the Lord.
So we're gonna get Mistaken in there real quick. What you got,
I told
Mistaken?
y'all they be in the same pool.
Mistaken.
Just the part that I saw because I was having issues with my, laptop or what have you. But
we saw.
the part that I heard is that she was saying she's at a stage in her life now that she is saved and she's looking for a mate that is, I guess, basically gonna be in alignment with that, right? Is that pretty much what she said?
She wants to be led by a man spiritually, and it's never happened for her, like never.
Okay, and so in that stage, I agree with what you were saying, Trev. If that is something that you are desiring, you got to put yourself in a place where the likelihood of meeting somebody is on that same wavelength, like. If you're on a spiritual journey, you're going to church and things like that, but then think that you're going to go to the club and happen to meet a guy that's going to lead you spiritually. I can't say that is impossible to happen, but the likelihood of that happening is slim. So I do think, you got to position yourself and put yourself in places in which what you want to attract. It was something that Ruth said that I kind of don't agree, but I maybe kind of get what she's saying. But like, if you are in a space where you're saying that you're saved, I don't think that it would be in your best interest to seek someone who is with the intent of saying, I can get him saved by the way that I, by the way that I move, because I can draw him to Christ. That's no different than saying I can change this man. You meet a man and you see that he's not what he needs to be, but you see the potential. And so then you go thinking that you can change him to become something that he isn't already presenting. That's just me personally. I don't think that's the right move. But if you're not saved and he ain't claiming to be saved and y'all get together and then you end up becoming saved, I think that's something.
I think you're
but going in with your eyes wide open. I was saying going in with your eyes wide open, like in her position right now, she's saying that she's saved. She wants a partner that can provide her with the spiritual leadership. So she shouldn't be looking for a partner that's not saved with the hopes that he's going to get saved so he can lead her spiritually.
Yeah, to correct that, I never said that. I just, that's what I said. He has to be saved, minimum. But saved is like the starting point. So y'all have to be in the same arena. Like if he's talking about some, he don't believe in religion, or he's an atheist, or he's all this. Everybody's picking everything and trying to change people. I said you never have to change anybody. You just have to be an example.
Facts.
Yeah, that's real. That's real. All right, so damn, I was trying to get Marcus up here.
I didn't go yet.
I could have sworn you. I could have sworn both of y'all went, but
you asked me how you asked me why did I react to the reaction I had when.
Yeah, that was your goal.
Oh no!
Oh damn!
Go ahead. You guys are using the
go ahead, Darwin.
I gotta make a point with HR on that one, bro.
Go ahead, Darwin. Go ahead, Darwin. You got it. You got it, Darwin.
Let me go first.
No, but what I would say to the topic specifically, I think B. Simone was being disingenuous, and she was using selective association. She's associating the cliche, typical things that people do when you can kind of tell that they're religious or they're walking in a spiritual way. Or they're reading the Bible. You go to church. Come on. That doesn't, there's no restriction to it. You can be raised in a word. Just because you don't go to church and pay tithes or tell her to take a knee with you and pray to God doesn't mean that you aren't religious or you aren't spiritually driven. I think she has her eyes on the wrong thing. Just a man being a man of the house, being a protector. Those things are in the Bible. Those things are things men practice religiously, and they associate with the spirit. They associate what God wants men to do. And I think that a lot of women are discounting that. And they try to hold us to the typical things you're supposed to do as a man of God, and ignoring the things we do on a day-to-day basis, working and earning a living, and just doing what's right by the law of the land and taking care of our household is just as strong as asking her to take a knee and pray. So it's just a case of selective association. She's selecting typical things to associate with a man who's religious. And she may have wandered across a man who was indeed religious and spiritual. It didn't fit her selective association. So if you're listening, man, you got to understand that we believe in God. You know, we walk in the spiritual way. We have a connection with Jesus. Just because we're not going to church and we don't get on our knees every now and then, all right, doesn't mean that we're not religious.